So let's look at some of the fine print, because devil is in the detail. It's the fine print, it's the small, tiny, like harmless clauses that may gotcha. Okay, so let's dive a little bit deeper. So as I said, even though you are a foreign investor, you are not considered, the U.S. citizen, green card holder, all that. So you are non-resident alien. You invest in some entities in U.S. And this is a form 8832, is about that company, right? It's about that entity. So even though the investor may be foreign, still, if it's formed inside the United States, it's still a domestic eligible entity. Okay? And what if this is a foreign organization? It's a form in the foreign country. That's where the fine print comes in. That's the 7. If the eligible entity is created or organized in a foreign jurisdiction, okay, provide a foreign country of organization, okay. So that means that the foreign entity is not a U.S. entity. It's not a domestic eligible entity, okay. So it's considered that's a true foreign eligible entity, okay. So the foreign entity must provide the country of the organization and can be elected to be classified as a corporation, partnership, or disregarded entity based on ownership as well as liabilities that we mentioned earlier. But it's a foreign organization, it's a foreign entity, you need to pay special attention to this 7 here, because you're going to provide the country, the foreign country or organization. Okay, and another fine print is the 8, because you might think, well, an election is to be effective beginning, month, day, year, right? So yeah, it's a kind of effective date. But remember, in reality, when you sign this, when you actually file this is like election filing. When you want to change or whether you want to be elected. But here's the thing. Just imagine, for example, this is a specific time that you file. Okay? And this is the election date. And the election can take effect up to 75 days before the filing. Okay? So basically, 75 days before that. So that means, maybe, your company, you got a board directors meetings, right? And decided, well, we are going to change the organization classification, okay? And that, is decided before you're actually doing the filing, okay? You know what? You can do that before 75 days, okay? But what about after? You know what? After 12 months. So I think it's pretty good terms if you look at that. Up to 75 days before the filing and up to 12 months after filing. We got a really huge window of this, election window that you can, you don't need to hurry. To be honest, this is a huge decision. And remember, we previously we also have a discussion about a limitation of this election, right? That's the 60 months limitation rule. So basically, if an entity has made a classification election within the past 16 months, it generally cannot change the classification. Okay, unless certain conditions are met. So for example, we got significant ownership change. We mentioned that. So that's the first limitation, the 16 months rule. But you know what? In this fine print, you just need to say the dates. There's still some of the limitation. The before and after. Before is 75 days. After is 12 months. Okay? So the effective date of election do matter. And I got a time window. And that's the thing that you need to think about when you actually fill in the date here.